What actor plays the same character in every movie? Kevin Hart. Literally every movie. I like that movie where Kevin Hart played his Kevin Hart character and Will Ferrell played his Will Ferrell character. Better yet, have a See-Off 2 where Kevin Hart has to play Will Ferrell and Will Ferrell has to play Kevin Hart. Don't even change the skin color. Just have everyone wonder why Will Ferrell's character is walking around with blackface. Together with Dwayne. I love the commercial where the guy asks Kevin Hart, "Why are you shouting?" And Kevin Hart replies, "Because I'm Kevin Hart. That's what I do." Which is why I'm so mad he was cast as Roland in the Borderlands movie. God awful choice. Cate Blanchett as Lilith? I understood. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis? Yep. Checks out. Jack Black as Claptrap? We'll see how that turns out I guess. But Kevin F.ing Hart as Roland? Not for a minute is this gonna be good. Should've gone with Lance Reddick. Or even F.ing and Ray Brewer. Just anyone with an air of authority about them. But Kevin F.ing Hart? You gotta be kidding me. A few of my friends were talking about some other castings that would work. We said Dave Bautista is the perfect choice for Brick. Like 100% spot on. Then we came up with a few out there choices. Johnny Depp for Mordecai. And, go with me on this, Jim Carrey for Handsome Jack. Steven Seagal. Plot twist. He ain't acting. From everything I've heard he's pretending to be a tough guy. Pretty sure any Steven Seagal movie can be summarized as, delete as appropriate. Steven Seagal plays a half Native American monk spiritualist, ex-Navy SEAL sire operative detective, whose wife, daughter, sister, neighbor is killed, kidnapped, blackmailed by the mob, CIA, renegades, terrorists, oil companies. They thought they had won, but this time he's back and this time it's personal. Yep. Arrogant jerk is a character. I worked with him on my first movie, The Onion movie. He was asked to play a character called the Cockpuncher, an action hero who defeats bad guys by, you guessed it, punching them in the cock. He said he'd agree to do the movie on 2 conditions. That they write him a soliloquy where he talks about the importance of non-violence, and that he be surrounded by a bevy of models at all time. The director's response? Yes. He was indeed awful to work with, late to arrive to the set, and impatient with the crew when he was there. When it came time for me to do my coverage, the part of our scene where I am talking to him but the camera is only on me, he decided to take a break and they had to have someone stand in as him for me to talk to. That ended up being a relief, because the stand-in was more present than Seagal was. Anyway, I actually enjoyed the experience. Because it was my first movie and I thought all my future co-stars will be better than this. John Wayne. Welcome to the first Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. I'm Genghis Khan Pilgrim. There's something about that scene that makes me laugh a lot. Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrims. The Mongolian Cowboy. Jason Statham, tough Brit who doesn't take sh from anyone. Usually involves smacking some heads together. Except in Snatch, where he plays a wannabe where almost everyone else is a harder, scarier criminal than he is. Same with Lock, Stock and 2 Smoking Barrels. Seems to only be an action star these days. I liked him better back then. Guy Ritchie needs to make him a new movie. At least he can make fun of himself. See, Spy. In the past 10 years worth of films, Liam Neeson. He has a very particular set of skills. I've heard he's trying to get into comedy. Very similar. Jason Statham. I saw an ad for his new film Wrath of Man where he plays a guy who shoots people unapologetically and drives fast. That's a way different story than the Transporter series, The Expendables, or War, where he drives fast and then shoots people unapologetically. After the death of his wife in 2009 he said that these actions movies was the only kind of movies that he was comfortable with, but now 10 years later he said he is done with these movies and he just did Made in Italy. Yes, a family member dies in his family and then he goes on a refine crusade. He was actually on a crusade in Kingdom of Heaven. Oh look, it's Liam Neeson starring as Liam Neeson in Liam Neeson movie. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez as Angry Tank Top. Rob Schneider as Michelle Rodriguez as Angry Tank Top. Perfect. The bad girl who beats up dudes role. She opened up about being typecast, and had this to say: I was typecast the minute I did a film called Girl Fight years ago. She went on to say, you allow yourself to be typecast. If I decided I didn't want to be typecast tomorrow, I'd just go do an indie film where I play some poor girl who goes through some excruciating experience and win myself an award for crying or being red or playing someone with mental illness. Can't argue with that. In a tank top, Michelle Rodriguez, starring as Tank Top. I remember when she popped up on Lost, and she was playing a different character at first and was thinking, oh, we get to see some range from her. And then it turns out it was an act and she plays the same character. Danny Trejo. Don't get me wrong, I think he bring a lot to pretty much anything I've seen him in. But he is always that bad guy who gets killed. But damn, had he had some cool action sequences. I heard him on Fresh Air a while back. He said a reporter asked him, why do you think you always get cast as the big Chicano dude with tattoos? His response was, because I am the big Chicano dude with tattoos. Danny Trejo does not do his own stunts because he says, I don't want to risk 80 people's jobs just so I can say I have big nuts. How can you not love this guy? Also, I once read he wanted to teach kids that the bad mofo that does bad things always gets killed. He's also Enrique on King of the Hill, and his character is kind of a milquetoast normal guy, although obviously King of the Hill is an animated show. MRDS. Can't say I've seen anything from Danny Trejo, apart from B99 where he's a really cool and understanding dad. Do your own homework, BuzzFeed. They forgot to save the thread the last time it was posted. Chuckled at this because the last 2 BuzzFeed articles I read started with a question posted on Reddit revealed shared by users in subreddit. I had even followed the original subreddit and the points were screenshots of the thread. Hey, I wonder if BuzzFeed is hiring Rebel Wilson. It'll be interesting to see what kind of roles she gets after all that weight loss. Fit Amy? I think she's the host of a dog show. Kevin Hart and The Rock. My favorite movie of theirs is when Kevin plays short funny man and The Rock plays his muscly friend. I'm surprised they haven't made a remake of Twins yet. They could even have Arnold and Danny DeVito make cameo appearances. Part of the reason the new Jumanji was kind of hilarious. The Rock playing a dweeb stuck in The Rock's body was a refreshing change of pace. Kevin Hart was supposed to be playing a jock but pretty much just played himself. He did a better job in the sequel playing an old man, but Jack Black steals the show in both. Yeah, I actually really thought Jumanji was solid proof that The Rock could act like someone else and Kevin Hart cannot. Jack Black totally stole the show though. The second one was even better, when The Rock had to play Danny DeVito. Owen Wilson. Always laid back, suave, funny but not overly so. Can diffuse any tense situation. Wow. Ka-chow. Can't wait to see how he is in Loki. I remember reading that Sean Bean dies in everything he appears in because it's the universe's way of balancing out the fact that his name doesn't rhyme. Now it's balancing out his role in Sharp. He goes gallivanting across Spain and France, stabbing French men and shagging every woman between Lisbon and Paris. He survived being shot about 1,000 times, and so now, to balance things out, he dies about 1 hour into every film he's in. And yet he lived through Silent Hill. Charlie Day. He always plays an anxious weirdo on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and he never fails to entertain. Charlie Day was like Bobcat Goldthwait or Gilbert Gottfried. For me, I wondered, are they always like that? I saw an interview forever ago with Gilbert Gottfried where they asked him who he least liked to sit next to on a plane. Bobcat Goldthwait, Pauly Shore, or himself. His answer was Pauly Shore. Bobcat and I only do it when we're working. Del Toro cast him as a scientist in Pacific Rim because he loved his monologue on the episode where he bashes rats with a stick. He did it play it more straightforward in the sequel to Pacific Rim. Granted, nobody saw it. Vin Diesel. His full name is Vehicle Identification Number Diesel. I am Groot. Michael Cera. I like that movie where he plays the awkward shy teen. I love the TV show where he plays the awkward shy teen. You should watch This Is the End. He plays a fictional version of himself, but his personality is the complete opposite of his usual characters. He's a loud, vulgar, arrogant douchebag. That part when he slaps Rihanna's A gets me cause of the prep. He plays a jerk in that one gambling movie. He was so creepy in This Is the End. Does this coke smell funny to you? That was hilarious because it went completely against type. Honestly, his best career performance were those 5 minutes in This Is the End. Jason Statham. It was fun watching him do a caricature of himself in Spy. Hell yeah, it was. when he started listing insane things he's done, and I swear half of them wish his character did in the Transporter movies. Spy is a super underrated movie. Everyone in that movie kills it. Check out Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Also Snatch. Hector, I'll believe that when a monkey comes out of my butt. Well, that's today. I love that this isn't even his real name and we all know who it is. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Hector is going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just went into Harris and bought 3 T66 turbos with NOS and Demotic exhaust system. Dwayne Johnson, I imagine the conversations for his role are something like this. The Rock, so what role am I going to play? Director, well, we thought, Rock, it doesn't matter what role I'm going to play. I really like that no matter what movie The Rock is in, be it cutesy family funny, or blockbuster action movie, his character will always without fail be an ex-special forces guy, because it's the only way they can ever justify his massive gigaframe. In Rampage he plays a animal behavior scientist with a special forces background. Yeah. In Skyscraper he's supposed to be a mild-mannered security consultant, an everyman like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Only the movie physically can't figure out how mild-mannered security man would look like. He bench presses trucks for a living. So the opening has a random Rainbow Six Siege Special Forces segment. It always makes me chuckle. To be fair, his role is always Dwayne Johnson. He did some good movies, but he always plays the big badass hero who in the end saves the world. Apart from Be Cool and Gridiron Gang, Maui is different in concept at least. What can I say except Jeff Goldblum? He basically just plays himself, which isn't an issue. I love himself. I'm convinced he had no idea what he was filming during Thor Ragnarok and was just told to react to things happening around him in his own special way. There's a deleted scene of him dancing and all I'm wondering is how they convinced him to do it. I think he just walked on set in his own wardrobe and kind of took the job from the guy that was supposed to play his character, then gave him random props and he just went with it. Like the electric remote, I think someone just turned on the TV to some generic show and he changed it. I think the holographic projection of him was just him getting a little drunk and standing on a table while people listened to him. I think he only acted in the Goop staff scene, but forgot what the staff was called and take a wait it. He just went with it. He probably laughed his a off at it. Whenever I see Goldblum in a movie I just enjoy watching his version of whatever character he is playing. It's like he is just doing cosplay, and somehow it's better than if he actually tried to be the character. Some actors are good because they become the character, others are good because the character becomes them. Goldblum falls into the second category, and one of the few who can pull it off so successfully. My sister is a casual fan of Marvel movies and thought Clark Gregg was just being typecast as an agent in every movie. Wow, can't believe Mark Wahlberg hasn't been mentioned. He even does the same facial expressions in every movie. What? No. I heard this comment and I'm upset about it. Say hi to your mother for me. I think he got the part of Max Payne simply because has the exact same facial expression as the original character model. Ryan Reynolds has made a career of being the wisecracking quick-witted quipper. He's literally Deadpool in every movie now. Just on the uber violence, mutant abilities and fourth wall breaking. That's not a complaint. Just the niche he has been able to very successfully embrace. I think he's been playing that guy since Two Guys, a Girl and a Pizza Place. I think. Maybe. My memory is a bit hazy though. Maybe I should rewatch it to check. He is always Van Wilder. Seth Rogen. Ha 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 ha. Hoo 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 hoo. Seth Rogen on how to spell his laugh. I once saw someone point out that Seth Rogen and James Franco play themselves in every movie they're in. Except for Pineapple Express where they play each other. Steve Jobs' movie exception. That movie showed he actually knows how to act when required. Jason Mantzoukas. He's even the same character in an animated series. I feel like his recurring character in Parks and Rec was very different than his recurring character in The Good Place. Maximum Derek. But there's the Rob. Jason Mantzoukas is a character himself. Created by comedic actor Jeffrey character Wheaties. Yes, everything I've seen him in, including guest host on Nailed It, is him just being Jason Mantzoukas. Don't get me wrong, I think he's hysterical, but sometimes I find myself wondering what he's like when the cameras are off. Does he secretly have a British accent that no one but his closest family gets to hear? Is he super into chamomile tea and cross-stitching? Maybe he likes to quietly do puzzles while listening to Mozart? Fun fact for you. Jason is actually a really clean person. Like when playing Rafi in the league, he constantly kept washing himself during the set, and is not as vulgar as you'd imagine. I can confirm that he drinks tea and eats sandwiches. I ordered and ate beside him at a cafe once. Probably the nicest celebrity I've ever met. Well, second, Marshawn Lynch was the best. Anna Kendrick. It's like every movie she plays she has the same personality. Quirky, funny, and not too serious. Same look too. Jane Lynch. But she does it well. I saw her do something different a couple of times. She was Criminal Minds Spencer Reed's mom, an institutionalized schizophrenic who was an English lit professor before losing her marbles completely. I love Jane Lynch. I like to think that she doesn't even audition. She just shows up on set and nobody has the guts to tell her to go home. She's hysterical in the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Stan Lee. RIP. The one man that almost literally plays himself in every movie. Excelsior. How has Meg Ryan not been mentioned? To my knowledge, she hasn't been mentioned in 20 years. Boom. Roasted. Tommy Wiseau. He played about 20 characters in a single scene.